Welcome back to Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, comic books, video games, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Also, though, we do have Rick. I got Rick here with me, by the way. How you doing today, Rick?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Rick. Just want to just off the top though, just want to remind everybody that we do have. Well, one, you can submit topics and questions to the show for us to cover by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. But also, we just launched this past week our new show, our tinfoil hat wearing show called We Want to Believe, where we go over on the UFO stuff. What else we go over, Rick? Just
UFOs,
deep sea aliens, paranormal stuff.
cryptozoology.
Just anything that would require you to wear a tinfoil hat. That's what
Pretty much.
We Want to Believe is all about. So go be on the lookout for that. And like the graphic here shows, when we do that, it'll go up on Wednesdays. At this point in time, I don't think we're gonna say that it's gonna be every Wednesday. We don't really know, but I think we are gonna have one up this upcoming Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I'm putting the shows up on podcast form as well, audio only. So for anybody who prefers or doesn't have the time to always have YouTube open and what have you, look for Honest and Uneducated on any of your podcast choice, iTunes, whatever. It's all synced up out there. You should be able to find it on your RSS feeds.
Yeah.
It's on Spotify. It's on all that stuff. I am missing a couple episodes from back in the day. Not
way back
when. No, but there was a gap because I just stopped doing it for a little bit. But then, obviously, I said this last week too. Like some people were watching it, so getting back to it. So this one should be up on there too as well. So check that out. But Rick, we actually got some news today to talk about,
Right.
For once, which is pretty interesting. Not for once really, but just in the past couple weeks, obviously, there hasn't been a lot coming out. Even though like theaters in a lot of places and things like that have started to reopen, there's still a lot of places in the States, especially, that aren't actually open. But we actually got some good stuff to cover here for today. So, but first, just off the top, there's two quick things I wanted to go over. One, I did finish watching Lucifer season 5. Rick, have you watched Lucifer?
I have not. It looks good.
No, it is good. And I say I'm just going to give a quick review of. So they split this season up into like two halves. So the half that it's all on Netflix right now. You can go watch it. The show I think is really good, and I've liked it ever since it initially premiered on Fox, and it got canceled. So then Netflix ended up picking it back up, and it got canceled off Fox after season 3, and then Netflix revived it to do a season 4, but then the numbers are just through the roof, so they did it for season 5, and then during the middle of season 5, it got renewed for another season. They're going to be shooting another season, which is supposedly going to be the final season, but they have said that already, so who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But if you've never seen Lucifer, I recommend watching it.
The synopsis looks interesting.
Well, the thing is with it, I will say, if you're not a fan, the way they do this, because it is based off a comic book, but this would be my only gripe with the show, and this partly is to like the things I did not like about season 5, and not that I don't like this stuff, but I feel like the way they set the show up is kind of like a cop procedural show. So like this girl here, Chloe Decker, she's a detective. Lucifer is
the Lord of Hell.
Yeah, and my main gripe with ever since season 1, even, and like I prefer at season 4, for instance, when they came to Netflix, they switched it to being just Netflix typical 8 to 10 episodes or whatever, and then on season 1, 2, and 3, it was on network television on Fox and everything, so they had like 20 some episodes, and you get that filler vibe a lot with just a lot of it, and the way the show just is designed to be like a procedural just cop thing, it's every day, like they're solving some crime like every day, and then the angel stuff, the Lucifer stuff kind of takes a back seat, and it was far more predominant in the first couple seasons when they were on Fox and they had like 20 or so episodes. On season 4 of when they came to Netflix, for instance, I feel like they did a much better job of making the angel, demon Lucifer stuff more of the central focus, which is what is like, in my opinion, is the more compelling thing about the show. Like the I don't know, crime of the week stuff is just the detective stuff that goes on is not why I watch the show, you know?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and I mean, not that it's bad. It's just that I feel like they just focus too much on it. Like it's just like it takes up most of the screen time. Like even like this one, like I said, this season ends. I'm not gonna spoil anything by any means, but like the angel and demony stuff doesn't really come into like full force even in this season until like the very end. And then obviously it's kind of like leaves you off on a cliffhanger because it's supposed to be like the middle of the season and everything. But I mean, everybody is great in the show. Some of the, I will say, some of the like s- background characters and everything, and some like side characters that come in, they're not super great. Like there is actually some like really bad acting sometimes, but not by any of the main cast. I don't know why I just noticed it. Like when I was watching this season, there are some people in some scenes where I'm just like, you really went with that cut? Like that's the one you chose. Um, but I like the story and everything. And the thing that carries this show really though is Tom Ellis, the guy who plays Lucifer. The dude is like so charismatic. If he wasn't in the show probably would have been canceled season 1. Like, if it was just exactly how it is without him being in the role, probably not so much. I don't know. Someone else could have done it, but I feel like the main reason I watch this show is because of Tom Ellis's portrayal of Lucifer. Like, he just steals the fucking show.
What kind of personality? Like, what's it?
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just imagine just like a very charismatic, like
Satan?
dude who is like no, just like a flirtatious personality. He's just like
Like a big
knows he's better than
personality, yeah.
everybody, but isn't like in a not in like a stupid, like kind of like cocky jockey way.
Yeah.
Just like imagine a dude who's literally Lucifer, but he's like
In human form.
in human form. And he just is, I don't know, is there's a lot of like sexual deviance and just like
Oh, I can
like he owns a bar, you know, like
A nightclub.
nightclub. And stuff. Yeah. So I mean, like, it's really good. But the thing that I like most about it, I mean, at least as far as the show goes, like other than like him as Lucifer, he is like the selling point of the show, like 100%. But like I said, my biggest gripe with season 5 and then kind of the show overall is that I just feel like they don't focus enough on the angel and demon stuff, which in my opinion is the best part of the show. So
Well,
I
yeah,
just
that's
wish
what
they
I
would,
think.
yeah, I just wish they would focus more on that and less on the because the only other thing is too, like you see, like we got Chloe Decker here, right? The
Yeah.
detective, and there's obviously a love interest there. That's his love interest since the beginning of season 1, and like they finally like in this season, they're like high school kids. Like the way they portray this relationship, it's like, does he like me? Like I don't know. Like it's just like I just don't feel like someone like Lucifer. He's thousands of years old, like millennia old,
Yeah.
and like.
Yeah.
I don't know, just some of the it's just weird, like, I just wish they would kinda portray that, like, I don't know.
You'd think he'd be like a little better at like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way they portray their relationship, and then without I can't really get into it too much because it's kinda spoilery, like, so, like, I don't know. You just kinda have to watch a show. In the end, I totally recommend watching the show because,
Okay,
like I said,
Netflix.
Tom Ellis as Lucifer is, like he's just fun to watch, man. Like, just literally, like, I could
Do
watch
they
it.
have the first couple seasons on Netflix?
It's all on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you can go watch it all, like all of it. And, well, like I said, the first 3 seasons there's like 20 some episodes, so it takes a while to get through. And then, like, if you've never watched it, or if you started watching Lucifer back in the day and like you watched something and you didn't like it, I wouldn't say that season 5 is going to make you like it because it is kind of a lot of more of the same. And like, if anything, I would have said season 4, give it a shot because like season 4 was like much better than anything they did on Fox. And I feel like that may have been the case though, because when they came, they kind of went all out in season 4 because they initially thought that was going to be like the end. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe that's why that season, just in my mind so far, sticks like as of right now is probably the best season they've had of Lucifer was season 4. So I don't know. In the end, though, I definitely recommend watching Lucifer if you haven't watched it. So especially same to you, Rick. If you have time,
Yeah.
go watch it. Again, if you didn't like it before, I don't think season 5 is gonna like make you like it. But if you did watch any of it, or if you've never watched it, I definitely recommend watching it. So that was my quick sort of quick review of Lucifer. And then the other thing, which is just kind of a fun thing I want to get into off the top here before we get into some main topics, is if you guys use Waze, the the GPS app. Interestingly enough, I did not know this until I was looking at it might be this article here. But it's owned by Google, which I just think is weird because they have like Google Maps and everything.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
is strange.
this is
I wonder
weird.
if they like acquired it.
Yeah, I mean they had to have bought it.
Yeah.
But either way, if you like Batman and you use Waze, they added Kevin Conroy's voice as your GPS navigator.
And the
it's-
Riddler.
And it's awesome. And it also has the Riddler, but no one's gonna use the Riddler voice if you can use Kevin Conroy.
I mean,
to
if
be your
anything, they
guy.
should have put like the Joker or like.
Yeah, but
Mark
I mean, I feel
Hamill?
like Mark Hamill, I'm sure, probably would have done it.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been awesome if they would have got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill come in and do it.
That's what I'm saying.
But especially if you could just have it like set to both, so just randomized who tells you where to go.
Yeah.
But no, it's really great because like literally, I don't know, it's a stupid like kind of like non-story, but if you use Waze and you like Batman, go turn this on because it's great just to have Kevin Conroy tell you to just turn left and turn right in Batman's voice. Like,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
like it's just fun. It's just it's kind of a stupid little thing, but I'm all for it. I was really excited when I turned it on. I had to go. Like I was like, babe, like listen to this. I went to show my wife. I was like, who is this? Like, and it was like turn left, then turn right. And it was just like, dude, it makes me geek, man.
That's
It makes me geek. So if you use Waze, you can turn on Kevin Conroy's voice. So that's that. But yeah, let's get into these main topics. Rick. Let's get into. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a lot of stuff. And speaking
Yeah.
kind of in the Batman world here, we're gonna jump right into it. Our boy Robert Pattinson. We got some news. There's some more than just this, but Robert Pattinson of the Batman, our new Batman, has got the coronavirus, so they had to shut down. They just started filming. They just went back into production on the Batman, obviously. And we all saw the trailer just recently at DC Fandom, which was awesome. There's still like tons of people talking about that trailer, like to this day. So it is disappointing to hear that. I mean, they had just started coming back up to film this thing, and then boom, had to shut it down immediately because the star got it. And like, there were rumors at first that they were gonna just continue filming, but just not with just film the other scenes that Robert's not in, essentially. But that turned out to be not true.
Sucks.
It does suck.
I mean, like that just throws everything off. I'm sure when the star of the movie has COVID.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, above all, definitely hope like Robert's okay and gets
like get well soon.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, of all things too, like after seeing that trailer, I know anybody who was doubting his performance as Batman, once they saw that trailer, I'm sure they kind of changed their mind. I would assume because like I always supported this, just like I always supported him getting cast as Batman, just like I always supported Ben Affleck being cast as Batman. Right when they announced Ben Affleck being cast as Batman, I was just like, "That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good."
Robert Pattinson, yeah, like his portrayal looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, he looks great as Batman. He looks great in the suit. Because if you remember, we talked a while ago about Zoe Kravitz had like an interview where she was talking about Catwoman and everything, and then someone asked her about like Robert's portrayal of Bruce and Batman and everything, and one of her lines was just like, "You know what? And he looks great in the suit." And it's like now we know like he does look.
He does look great in the suit.
He looks great in the suit. He's got a strong ass jawline, and the suit's really cool looking.
It looks a lot better than I thought it would look.
Yeah. I'm still not a super big fan of the cowl.
Yeah, that was the big thing I didn't like originally.
But it did look better in that trailer.
Well, my question is, and this will probably be answered in the movie, like, it's leather. Like, how protective is that? I mean, he gets shot in the trailer.
Yeah.
Is it armor? I don't know.
You'd think, too, since, like... Because, I mean, I think even Matt Reeves said, like, it's year 2, and he's, like, constantly upgrading everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the leather cowl if they would actually have shown like maybe him wearing like not the high tech Arkham Knight looking bat suit at the beginning.
Yeah,
like because if they showed like the suit evolve, then it would make sense that his cowl was still leather.
Well, it could be armored
But-
underneath. It could have like a titanium shell or something like that.
Yeah, but how practical is that, like, in all reality?
I mean,
Like,
he's a billionaire.
I know, but, like, that's the thing. Like, the only thing that the suit just looks so much more advanced
It does.
than the boots and the cowl, really.
The boots look like something you get like at Red Wing Boot Company or
That's what
something
I'm
like that.
saying. Like,
like
so
something-
I don't know. Like, but I mean, these are just like small nitpicks. Elsewise, I thought it looked great, and even
Yeah.
so, like I said, like the cow. When I actually watched it in the trailer, like I thought it looked fine.
Yeah, it did. I
Like-
liked the neck area.
Yeah,
It's
like
got, like,
the
that-
collar definitely looks even better
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
The collar.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope he has a speedy recovery, and no long term side effects, and God forbid anything. Same goes for anybody else who may have been around him, because obviously the star of a movie more than likely came in contact with a lot of people on set.
Yeah, you'd think so. That could really.
Yeah, it could slow things down even more.
But they're saying that will it need to move from the October 1st, 2021 release date? I don't think so. I mean, this is what, maybe like a week or two, hopefully at most.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends.
That's a long time from now.
It is a long
It's over
time
a year from now. And they've already got a trailer out. I mean, they've done a lot of the.
Well, they've only shot 25% of this movie, though.
What?
Remember, that's what Matt Reeves said. They only shot like 25% of
That's
the movie.
crazy.
That's why I was saying, like, the trailer looked like really good for them only having 25% of it shot.
I do remember you saying that.
But yeah, I mean,
It's a lot of major parts it looks like they've shot, from what it seems like so far, at least.
yeah, it looked like they had a lot of the big action set pieces done, because they had that scene with like him fighting Catwoman was in the trailer. You had the scene where Riddler was tying up that dude. They had the dude with the like bomb on him. Like, them seemed like a lot of like, yeah, and then the thugs too. It seemed like they did a lot of the more, I don't know, just action set pieces have already been filmed.
Yeah.
There, I mean, it's obviously probably going to be more, but I don't know. It did seem like they had quite a bit of it filmed already. They even had the car chase scene with a penguin in the trailer. So, like, they have shot a substantial amount of the movie to some degree. But if he's saying that's only 25% of it, that's actually kind of cool, because
Wonder how long it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like, despite us not knowing too much about the plot, like, we got a good gist of what the movie's about.
Do you think they'll do like the stereotypical Batman, like parents getting shot in slow motion in the alleyway, and like,
they might, but I would see
they do that in every Batman.
If they did it, if it's fine if there's context and it's just like a quick flashback for him to see it. Like, you know what I mean? We don't need to obviously see it again.
Have they ever not included that in a Batman movie? I don't think they. Maybe like Michael Keaton.
It wasn't in Batman and Robin. Or
that's because Batman Forever.
Did they do it in Batman Forever too?
I think they did, because I remember there were like pearls bouncing off the sidewalk and like roses, Seal Kissed by a Rose.
I know they did it in BVS again.
Well, you know the song "Kissed by a Rose" by Seal. I remember the music video that came out for that.
Best part of Batman Forever.
That's a great song,
dude. That's the best part of Batman Forever.
Okay,
it's a good ass song, dude.
That is a good song, and it's time. But yeah, they included that. I remember in the music video, like the pearls like bouncing in slow mo, and the roses falling on like a wet sidewalk, and it was just like, ooh.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind if they do.
I mean, we all know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if they do it again, though. It's just as long as there's like purpose to it. Like, that was kind of like what was annoying about it in BVS was, I mean, it was fine because it was just the intro, so I guess it's fine. But at the same time, it was a very long, like, I don't know.
Where did they get shot at again? What's the area where they get shot at again?
Crime Alley.
How the fuck would you walk down an alley called Crime Alley?
Well, it depends on what reasoning, but it's because of Bruce, because he wanted to leave the show. But so it depends, because like in Joker, they show Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed again, and it's not because of Bruce on that one. It's just because like the riots were fucking going on, so they were leaving the fucking theater.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit different, and it's always the same kind of concept. They just try to dip out of the show and they go out the back way. You know what I mean?
Crime Alley, like what a name.
I think here's the thing. I don't think it was probably called Crime Alley when they decide to walk down the alley. It probably gets dubbed Crime Alley when the most prevalent figure of, Gotham gets murdered in it. Sure. Like when Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne die, who pretty much own Gotham at the time, that probably warrants you renaming the alley to Crime Alley. That would be my actual guess when it really comes down to it. But just before I guess I don't know. This is kind of a main topic, but it's at the same time it's kind of an off topic because we don't have too much to say about it. But just in the same DC COVID vein, we also found out recently that Dwayne The Rock Johnson and his whole family had it, and like for the most part, though, from what I can hear, they
They're doing all
recovered
right.
from it.
Yeah.
So, um, just again, the DC world kind of being hit with at the same time. Just we got
Right.
Black Adam getting it and his whole family. Like I said, though, thankfully though, because he has 2 young daughters. I think they're both daughters.
Yeah.
They got it too, but they apparently had minor side
Sore
effects and
throat.
symptoms. Yeah. So like
just-
that's more of the relief than anything. I mean, obviously, like The Rock and his wife being fine too, but like when you
he's The Rock. Like he'll get.
but I mean, someone even said too, I was watching a thing, and it's kind of a stupid comment in some degree, but at the same time, like I get why they would say it, but they were like, "Well, if The Rock can get it, then anybody can."
Yeah.
It's like, well, no shit, he's a human
Yeah.
being, like,
Yeah.
but I get what I get what they
Yeah.
were saying, like, yeah, because I mean, anybody can fucking get it, but it's beside the point. But yeah, so good to hear that he made a speed recovery, like
Yeah.
more so than anything, and then good to hear that his kids were fine, everything's fine. So like, but again, like he said, I'm just glad that he came out and told everybody because he has like almost 3 million followers on Instagram or something.
Like 300 million. Like it's
300 million.
Oh yeah, 3 million's like nothing. Look it up.
I don't care about how many followers he has on fucking Instagram.
He's got, I think, like almost the most out of like any account. And
Yeah.
there's people with hundreds of millions for sure.
Right. Well, either way, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that he, like, I don't know, went on there and like urged people to do some simple things to prevent this from happening. Yeah, like just wear the mask. And he even said like like it's not political, just wear your mask.
Man, I was in the
be safe.
store. I don't
Be
know.
safe.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
Well, what I was gonna say, like, I was in the store the other day. I think it was like Target or something, and there's these 3 older women in there, none of them wearing masks, and one of them starts coughing.
I know.
I literally said out loud, I was like, "Really,
Right.
really?" Like, we don't have to get into
That's
that.
kind of that's why I don't want to go. That's why I don't want to go like to the movie, even if they did open, unfortunately, because it's like not because like well, it depends. I mean, it's just hard. It's just a tough time, man. It's just a tough time because it's like you want to go and you got to go to the store, you got to do stuff, but then like that is the annoying thing.
I feel
it's
like it's not as dangerous as it was, though. Maybe
it's just as dangerous.
Yeah,
it's just as dangerous. The virus hasn't changed, my
no.
So I mean, it's just as dangerous as
if anything, it would mutate to get stronger. I feel like.
and so it's just as dangerous as it ever was.
Yeah.
Now the problem, though, is that you have people like that who just aren't doing the simple thing like wearing a mask. You know what I mean? It's just a very simple thing. Like, and but
it's just a courtesy.
Yeah, and that's the reason I would be like more hesitant to go do things because I mean, I know they'd have to like the movie theaters, for instance, that are open, like you have to wear a mask to get in there, but then they're not requiring you to wear them like while you're eating or drinking or anything, but you have to put them back on. But you're gonna have somebody in there who just doesn't wear it.
Well, at the gym,
it's gonna happen.
They make you wear it when you walk in. You can take it off while you're working out, and then you wear it when you walk out. And like great and all, but like, what good does that do?
It does no good.
And the guys that are working at the gym too, they all have it pulled down like basically to the top of their mouth, and it's like, what's the point?
I know there really is no point. Like if you wear your mask like that, dude, I'm sorry, you're an idiot, and stop because you might as well not wear it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
if you're having your nose exposed, the whole point is so your breath doesn't escape. So when you have it like this, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you're still breathing out and in. Like what good is that? Even if you were just too selfish to like care about like infecting someone else, think about your own well-being at that point. If you want to prevent yourself from getting it, maybe cover your nose. You know what I mean? If I were to have it and come and sneeze in your general direction because you don't have your mask on all the way, there's a much higher chance of you getting it from somebody.
Yeah, like the risk of transmission is way higher.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, the biggest thing is to prevent transmission with the mask. So obviously, if you were to have it and be asymptomatic and you don't have it covered, you're going to be spreading it everywhere. There ain't no point in even having it on. This is kind of redundant, but this is the reason why I'd be hesitant to go to like a movie theater or something like that, or even the gym. That's why I'm glad I have a gym here. So I don't have to. I don't have to do all that. I just walk right over there, and I can skip school.
in theory, I guess I can kind of do that too, like by coming over here. But still,
Yeah, you could just come over here and work out. You wouldn't have to like.
I don't know, man. You're pretty intimidating. I don't
Yep. Yeah, sure.
gym intimidation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. So just glad everybody is doing good there, and I guess it's a good thing though. I will say that they still haven't started filming Black Adam because that would have just slowed it down even more.
When's it supposed to start?
They were supposed to actually start filming it in July. That's when he initially finally said they were going to start production of some kind, whether it was pre-production or what. It was actually going to like happen in July, but then I think he said it around like March, April time. But then
Yeah, obviously
everything got shut down. So obviously there has been no actual like premiere or not premiere, but official statement of when they're actually going to be going back into production of any way because of all this stuff that we're talking about. So hopefully, though, like I said, the most important thing about even like Robert and then like The Rock getting it is that I mean, at least with The Rock and his family and everything, that they're good now. So that's the most important thing, and then hopefully everybody on the set of the Batman staying safe and whatnot. Because
yeah.
I mean, God forbid something like happens to any of them. Like it doesn't have to be like one of the actors or anybody. Just like you don't want someone to die. 'Cause stuff, you know what I mean? Like there's so many
Like, what
people
would
working
happen
on these
in
sets.
that situation? That'd be terrible.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just I don't know. It's just a bad time, which makes you question like should we even be doing this stuff right now? You know, should we even be doing it? But at the same time, life does have to go on in some capacity, so I totally understand it on some aspect. As long as everybody, when this stuff happens, they know that they're doing the right thing and they're shutting down production again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of will like because there were those reports, like I said at one point, that they were just gonna continue on filming without Robert. But at the same time, it's like, is that really the smartest idea? Like, and you know what I mean? It's kind of I don't know. It's definitely better in my opinion. Just like if it happens, just put a 2 week hiatus on it and see how everybody's feeling. You know what I mean? Just have
Quarantine.
quarantine for a couple days, get another test in on everybody, see how they're doing, like whatever. So I don't know. But let's move on. Well, let us know down in the comment section, guys, what you guys think about all that. I know there's really not any like super. I don't know. There's not too much to talk about other than just hope everybody's okay more than anything. But just let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic here, we're going to go over the new James Bond No Time to Die trailer just came out. So that movie was also supposed to come out, I think in when was it supposed to come out? Either way, I think it's coming out in November now, regardless. So November 12th is when the movie's coming out. We got our second trailer for it, actually. The first trailer was just kind of like a tease, though. We didn't get a whole lot of it, but there was some of it there. But this new trailer came out, Rick. My biggest takeaway from it is that there was a lot of action.
There was
a lot of action
very
in the
James
trailer.
Bond.
I liked the music a lot. The music was really good.
It's like not cliche, but like the typical James Bond music.
Mhm.
And he's driving like that vintage Aston Martin, like guns coming out of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I liked it, honestly. There's a lot of it too where I don't know, there was a couple scenes that you could obviously tell it was like CG stuff, but like otherwise though, there looked like a lot of practical like set locations, obviously, and then like practical effects in a lot of places. And those ones looked good.
They did.
I liked like a lot of the action, everything looked
The
good.
action looked intense.
Yeah, my only worry with those, it seemed like a lot of action. Like
Yeah.
I just hope that like it's not just I don't know, just some giant like
Clusterfuck of like shooting and jumping and
I don't want like
it's kind of what the trailer was.
it really was. That's what I'm saying. Like there was just a lot of action, and I just hope there's a little bit more substance to it. And because in the end, like James Bond is kind of
Over the top.
He's kind of more than just like a. They make him out to pretty much be like a superhero, but I don't want him to be like he's not a superhero. You know what I mean? That's kind of my only worry is that they put him in a lot of these situations where there's no way someone would live through it. You know, like
well, he's got no time to die.
he does. There is no time to die.
It sounds like a title that already came out of a James Bond movie, but I guess that's kind of how they go.
I think it's just because I like the title. I hope there's relevance to it. Because the other thing we got in this trailer, I don't even remember the first trailer they were in it, but the James Bond's replacement, the girl who was in Captain Marvel, I can't remember the actress's name, but we got our first look at her like her first big look. She may have been in the first trailer. I just don't remember. Apologies, I haven't watched that one in a while. But so it was kind of nice to see her because a lot of people were like complaining that they like replaced James Bond with like a woman. It was just like a bunch of stupid people who just didn't know what was going on because like James Bond's still James Bond. He's right there.
Yeah.
He's right there. It's like
He's literally
he's
right there.
literally like the movie is still about James Bond. Like
Yeah.
no one replaced James Bond. Like he's still James Bond. And the what's her name? Barbara Broccoli, I think. I can't remember if that's her
Barbara
first name. No, that's really who owns James Bond and everything. And it's literally their last name is Broccoli because like their family got rich from broccoli. And
Makes sense.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah, their last name is Broccoli. So, but yeah, they had like a broccoli empire, and then they owned the rights to James Bond.
Empire of vegetables.
But she came out and even said that James Bond is James Bond. Like they're like because everyone kept asking her when like they found out that there was a new 007, and all it was is 007's like the employee number. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of 00s, like there was 006 and Goldeneye and everything, and blah blah. But if 006 were to die, they would just have a new 006 as opposed to just keep going. So now you're no longer 00s because we've had 2,000 of them. So it kind of loses its kind of purpose. They just reuse the employee number is what they do.
Yeah.
And but Barbara Broccoli kept getting asked about it, and she was like, "No, James Bond is James Bond. Like we wouldn't gender swap him or whatever because it just would make more sense to just make a new character."
Yeah.
Which is what I've always said. There's really no point, like, because you get that a lot, man, and I've never understood that. And I'm sure you've heard it too. And like, this might be controversial in some way, but like, in my opinion, it's just kind of a no brainer. But like, and they've been doing it a lot lately with like gender swapping roles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I don't mind it a lot of the time as long as the character like doesn't need to be a man, you know, like
For sure.
For instance, like Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. If you gender swapped Batman, there'd be no
Barbara Wayne.
Yeah, there's no point to it. Like there's already a Batgirl, so you would just make a Batgirl movie, you know? And I kind of feel the same way whenever they gender swap people or whatever just for the sake of doing it. I feel like it's like it belittles the whole point and the character because it's like if you just wanted to make a strong female character,
just make a strong female.
Just make a new character and make them female. Like they don't need to be Batman, but not because they just wanted to make him a girl. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like just make I don't know. I just feel like that makes it less interesting. Like you know, like and I feel like and that's pretty much what Barbara Broccoli said about the James Bond stuff. It's like, what would be the point? Like, if you wanted to, like, there's no point in that. Just make a new character. Like, they can stand on their own. Done it. But otherwise, though, I thought the James Bond trailer was pretty good. I'm looking forward.
I thought it looked good.
I thought it was good. I'm just worried.
Action packed.
Yeah. And then that's my only worry is that maybe it's just too much action, but
I'm sure they'll balance it out. I mean,
it's James Bond. There's going to be a ton of action in it to some capacity anyway. So I just hope that because I mean, a lot of people didn't care for like Quantum of Solace for one, but then God, what was the other one? The last one, like a lot of this
Skyfall? No,
Spectre. Yeah, people didn't like Spectre, but like, truth be told, I haven't even sat through all of Spectre. Like I kept getting they said something was always going on and I could never finish it. And then I always heard that like no one liked it, so I just never felt like watching it.
They said that this is like Daniel Craig's swan song, so this is like his James Bond movie. Like,
yeah, because I absolutely love Casino Royale, dude.
Yeah,
Casino Royale was awesome.
It was good.
And then I saw Quantum of Solace, and I was like, this is not awesome. And then Skyfall was good, and then I never even got around to finishing Spectre. I've watched the first opening scene for it like I think 3 times, and like I've never made it through the whole movie. Like I haven't done it. It's like it's just boring, and apparently it's not very good. So I haven't felt like going back and watching it. So hopefully this one does not fall through the same pitfalls that Spectre and Quantum of Solace had, and hopefully it is good. And hopefully too, if this is going to be Daniel Craig's final James Bond movie, hopefully you want him to go out on a high note.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, I hope it's good, and I would imagine it's good if they finally convince him to come back and do it. Like, for the longest time, he wasn't even wanting to come back and do it anymore. So,
He's a good James Bond.
He's good.
Like, I think he's good, but
I like him in the role. So hopefully it's good. But the question is, guys, what do you think? Did you guys see the new James Bond No Time to Die trailer? Oh yeah, we forgot though too. Rami Malek. We saw more Rami Malek, and I love
I
Rami
liked
Malek.
his character. Yeah,
Yeah, so like
I
I'm
like the
definitely
mask.
I'm looking forward to seeing him play a villain too. So
Oh
because like I
yeah,
haven't
it's like
seen him.
weird seeing Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
running
Well, I
for
mean,
James Bond.
I watched him in Mr. Robot. Like when I still haven't finished.
That's pretty old, isn't it?
No,
Not like old, but like
no, that
a
was
couple
like
years back.
yeah, that's what put him on the map though.
Yeah,
And like I watched that. I loved that first season, and I've only watched like 4 or 5 episodes into season 2, and then I just haven't got around to finishing it. But he's really good in that, and that's what I don't know. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. He was great as Freddie Mercury.
he was.
He was really good. That was a good. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play a villain. So yes, what do you guys think? Just let us know down in the comment section below if you've seen the trailer and if you like the trailer. Are you a little bit worried about like maybe it being too action packed? Or are you kind of on the same line as me where like it's going to be action packed because it is a James Bond movie. So
Of course.
it is kind of expected. So whatever it is, let us know down in the comment section below. So our next topic today, guys, is pretty big announcement if you're a Star Wars fan more so than anything. So we got the release date of The Mandalorian season 2 along with a new banner for it with prominently on the logo is our boy Baby Yoda because
The child.
he's Baby Yoda. Dude.
He's
Everybody
Baby
calls him
Yoda,
Baby
yeah.
Yoda. It is what it is. But yeah, it's the child. What do you think his real name is? If you had to guess.
Yo.
Yo.
Yodi.
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 Yodi. Young Yo.
Yoder.
Little one.
I mean, this is assuming that they all start with the letter Y, but well, there's Yaddle.
There's only
Yoda.
2 of them. So
Yeah.
we got Yoda and Yodel.
Or is it Yaddle?
Yaddle.
Yaddle, I think it is. Not
Who
Yodel.
cares? It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. But anyways, Mandalorian season 2 comes out. What is it? October 30th.
Yep.
So guys, and there is one interesting thing with this too, Rick. And I don't know if you noticed this on the tweet that they put out. I don't know if it's on this thread. But it's not. The tweet that they put out though, it said new episodes October 30th.
So it's not going to come out by week in theory.
Or I know they're still going to do week by week. They have to do week by week because here's the thing. And we've said this before. I've said it before at least. When you do week to week, you build momentum, you build word of mouth, you build buzz. Like when Mandalorian dropped, if they had just dropped it all at once, everybody would have watched it in a day or two, especially considering they were only like 30, 40-minute episodes max for Mandalorian for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do hope is that they're longer episodes.
Oh, for sure. I always wanted more.
I hope they're longer. But I mean, if they're not, the problem with dropping everything at once is you watch it all like so quick, and then no one's talking about it a week later.
Yeah,
that's how it was with Stranger Things season 4 when it came, or was it 3 or 4, whatever the last one was. I don't even remember. And this is my point. I don't even remember which season it was because you watch it all in like a couple days. People are only talking about it for like a week.
Yeah, because
2
they
weeks
watch it all
tops.
too quick.
Yeah, and it's like with Mandalorian. There were 8 episodes, so for literally 8 weeks, that's like all anybody was talking about was The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So you get to build more buzz, more word of mouth, and you're 4 weeks in, and everybody's still only talking about Mandalorian. So anybody who doesn't have Disney Plus is like, well, everyone's talking about it, so we might as well.
The hype was real, like when it originally came out.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, one thing I noticed too on that link that you brought up there was they're doing the practice still of having like big name directors direct individual episodes.
Mhm.
It looks like Robert Rodriguez is confirmed, which is kind of cool.
Yep, they got him to come in and do it, which is one thing I like that they do that.
Tamar Morrison coming back, obviously. It says will play Boba Fett in season 2.
Yes, we know, but I don't think he's gonna be in the armor, man.
No, I don't think he is.
I don't think he's.
I think he's gonna be old and like injured.
Yeah. Because I think they're gonna do the thing where, and we talked about this before in one of our first episodes of the show. I think Timothy Oliphant's character is gonna be in the Boba Fett armor.
True.
There was a thing in the comics or the books. I forget which one it was, but they had a guy. I think they just called him like the gunslinger or something. I don't know. It's pretty much just some.
He was like second Boba Fett.
Yeah, he had Boba Fett's armor, but it wasn't Boba Fett. Like Boba Fett was like in the wind. You know, and I think that's what's going to happen. Because not to mention too, and I've gone over this before. They say that he's playing Boba Fett and everything, but Tamora Morrison coming back could be playing any clone.
He could be playing a lot of people.
He could be playing a ton of people if they want. He could be playing Rex. He could be playing anybody.
And they don't all have to be in the same episode. It could be like spread out throughout the season.
Which, in all honesty, in my opinion, it'd be a lot cooler if they were if he was a clone more so than Boba Fett, because Boba Fett is not as cool as everybody makes him out to be. Hot take. Boba Fett didn't do shit in those movies. He didn't do anything.
That doesn't mean he wasn't a cool character, though. I mean, I'm talking about like the extended universe stuff, all that. Like Boba Fett was sweet.
No, he looked cool.
He was Dengar's best man in his wedding.
None of that's canon.
Dengar's canon? He was
the wedding stuff's canon. No, that's canon. It don't matter.
Dengar was kind of a weird character, anyways.
Because like we can't talk about stuff like that because it's not canon technically. You know what I mean? Like, because I could preach on for days about all this old Republic shit. But it's kind of irrelevant when it's like they won't canonize any of it.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of sucks. But I don't know. Boba Fett just isn't that cool, man.
I think the biggest thing is his armor. The other thing
it was
is
just
like
the armor.
It was just his attitude as a character. He was just kind of like, yo. You know,
he looked cool. He didn't have much to say, and he was mysterious. That's why people liked him.
I think this was episode 1. We talked about it, where he's like, no disintegration, and it's like this doesn't mess around. Like,
yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. It's things like that that made him cool. But like, I don't know, people just have like such a hard on for Boba Fett, and he didn't fucking do anything. Like, you got that line which made him seem cool.
Blind Han Solo knocks him into a pit.
Exactly. I told you this when we were talking about before. He literally got beat by blind Han Solo,
who just happened to be turning around on accident.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this dude's fucking awesome. He got beat by a blind dude. Like, dude,
not even beat. Han Solo didn't even know he beat him. Like,
exactly. So he's really fucking cool, isn't he? Like, he got stumbled around and beat.
His armor is cool. I think that was the biggest thing.
People liked him because he looked cool. He was mysterious and whatnot, and like they liked the aesthetic of Boba Fett.
Yeah, Slave One, Carbonite.
Yeah. He was definitely a cool character, and he looked cool and everything. But like, I don't know. There are other Mandalorians who like are in canon and everything
that are way cooler.
They're way cooler. They've done so much more stuff, and it's like that's why like I never cared about like they were gonna make a Boba Fett movie. It's like I don't care about a Boba Fett movie.
Well, they had that one show they were going to do back in like the early to mid 2000s or whatever. It was like the Star Wars Underworld, and he was apparently supposed to have like a huge role in that. But that would have been cool if they did that.
Well, they were going to make the Boba Fett movie with Josh Trank was going to direct it and everything, and like that just didn't happen.
Yeah,
and they made the Mandalorian instead, which I think was a better choice. Like the Mandalorian's cool. Like it's better. Great. It's kind of like we were just saying too with the whole, you know. Like kind of going back to like gender swapping characters in a way, like when they just revive characters and bring them back for no reason, when it's just like, why not just make a new character and have like tell a new story? You know what I mean? Like you don't need Boba Fett back to tell a Mandalorian story. It's kind of redundant. And like the Mandalorian show and even the Clone Wars animated series proves it. You don't need to have these like you keep bringing people back.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it kind of belittles what they did. And at least it can. I mean, you can always have the original stuff. Doesn't really do anything. Like, yeah, I know, but like, I mean, I don't know. Like, just think of like did Han, Luke, and Leia really do too much in the sequel trilogy? You know what I mean? Like, what if you were to remove all of them? Couldn't it have just been anybody doing that stuff?
Oh
like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It didn't. Which was kind of one of the problems with like the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, too. Like they had all these characters come back, but like for what real reason? Like, you know, like there was really no real reason behind it. Like they could have just had anybody be in that and do those things, and like it would have been fine. Like,
yeah,
they really didn't utilize them and like really well. They aside from in the Force Awakens with like Ben and Han, that was really all they did. Like because like that was good stuff. Like when he killed them and everything, like that all like had weight to it. That was fine. But then, like, I don't know. It's kind of redundant. I just want them to tell new stories.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, The Mandalorian is good, because it's like a new story. In my opinion. That's one of the things that make it good. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Mandalorian Season 2, though.
I can't wait.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll probably do reviews for every episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say, too.
Yeah, I mean, at least, like, some of it.
It's fucking all of it.
Well, all of it, but, like, you know, some of the show, like...
What?
Be a good thing to do like on a weekly basis. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll do like a review for it. Every episode we'll have a review, a post show kind of thing.
yeah.
We do that afterward and everything, so that'll be fun. So, anyways, guys, what do you think about the Mandalorian season 2 release date? What do you want to see out of the Mandalorian season 2? Like Rick, are you still excited that they're gonna have these some returning directors, some new directors come in and tell stories? Whatever it is, let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic is going to be sticking into the world of Star Wars, but going back a couple hundred years to the uh the High Republic time. So we got some news here. We talked about this before too, Rick. If you don't know what the High Republic is, everybody, that's a novel series that they put all the writers together and they made they're making this new series that's going to have comic books, novels, and there's no movies yet, but there's been some rumors and everything that they might be making movies set in this time period, but it's about 200-300 years before the original trilogy, and they have, like I said, a couple books and some comic book series coming out, and we got word, official confirmation, and some art design of the of Yoda. So we got this is supposedly going to be a 700-year-old Yoda.
Interesting.
If you remember, so this is going to be and he's going to be in a comic book series. And in the series, they're going to be supposedly kind of doing, I don't know, taking like Jedi Padawans out on the road in some way. So like, and they say like, I don't know, that's what they're going to be. It sounded kind of interesting, kind of not at the same time, because like, I don't know. In my opinion, like I said before, I don't like that they just keep. I don't know if they're just like playing it safe or what. Like, I just don't know why they're not.
Yoda's a fan favorite. Like,
but why are they not telling new stories?
yeah,
That's been like my biggest complaint with like the Disney Star Wars era is like they make the sequel trilogy, but then they have to bring in all the old characters and like have all this. Why can't they just make new characters? Because like I said,
like a totally different story within the universe. But
yeah,
well, I mean, you're looking though with like the current Star Wars and all that. Like, you're looking at the most major characters of those situations. But I mean, that's kind of like what they did with the Mandalorian.
in what way? What do you mean?
Like, I just mean like with the Empire, you're seeing Darth Vader, you're seeing Emperor Palpatine. With the Jedi, you're seeing Luke Skywalker, you're seeing Yoda, Anakin Skywalker, and all that. Like, I guess the other stories wouldn't be as like significant, is the best way I could put it. But
That's not true though, because like, dude, and so many people agree. Like, the Old Republic is so rich with like anything you can do. And when you
see, we've never been introduced to those characters. Well, we have been introduced, but like not like in a major scale, like in a movie or.
Well, that's why they need to.
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't have to be the Old Republic necessarily, but I like the Old Republic time frame because, like, I mean, just with everything they've set up in general, there's armies of Sith and armies of Jedi. Like, that shit is cool, dude.
It is cool.
Like, I mean, just got like the Jedi Civil War and like all these like cool things, and like going back like thousands of years, you can do whatever you want. 'Cause that's the problem with like prequels and everything is you know where it's gonna go. Like anything that Yoda's gonna be in, for instance, you know what happens to Yoda.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes out like any level of stakes and like there's only so much you can do with it. Like, yeah, you can tell cool stories still and you can do whatever and it's all fine. I don't hate all prequels and I don't hate all the new Star Wars stuff by any means. It's just Star Wars is such a rich universe.
Yeah.
And it's like they forget that it is a universe of things and they just keep sticking to the same time period when you could just do so much with it. And that's why like the Mandalorian is like
that's what I was just about to say.
Like, because it's its own thing. Like,
I mean, he doesn't even know what like Jedis are. He calls them sorcerers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the thing. Like, when you tell like a new story like that, you're not like shackled to anything, and that's like kind of it's like something like the MCU is like the MCU is great and everything, but like everything has to like stick to a path. You know what I mean? And it's like that's kind of one of the things that like DC is doing at least now is like kind of like to separate themselves in some way, but it gives you freedom. Like, like telling like Joaquin Phoenix Joker, for instance, they didn't have to worry about how it's gonna tie into anything. They just told a good story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a familiar story in some ways because it is a character that we're familiar with, but it was still a new take, a new thing. Like it's its own thing. And that's why I just feel like they're kind of just missing it's missed opportunities more so than anything.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm excited for new stars. I hope this High Republic stuff is good. I hope people do like it, and maybe we can get like some because there are going to be new characters in it. Like that is a thing,
Yeah.
but it's just I don't know. I just wish they would go back further or way forward in time, so like the original trilogy and everything could just like kind of be its own thing and like tell a new story.
Yeah,
In the
for
end, like
sure.
I'd like to see new Jedi and like new things happen that isn't set in a period of time that you kind of know where everything kind of goes.
Yeah, and
So
that's
like
true. Like with that, the current stuff, you know exactly what's happening. You know what's going to happen. Like even
yeah.
in the background of what's going on in the Mandalorian, with like the Empire falling, and
Mhm.
yeah,
And that's the thing too with The Mandalorian, it is a period of time that, like, hasn't really been explored too much, I guess, which makes it kind of interesting, but what I think makes Mandalorian interesting more so than anything is the fact that, like, you're following a new character. You know what I mean? Like, Mando himself he's not Boba Fett, like, like, and I feel like because at least with his story, it's all new stuff, like,
yeah,
with, like, this Yoda, for instance, like we know what happens to Yoda.
yeah,
So it just I don't know, it takes a little bit out of it for me because it's like, I get it, like, Yoda's great though. Like, I love Yoda.
yeah.
And I'm excited to see, like, what this is and everything, and I hope it's good.
I like Yoda.
I want it to be good. I just wish they would do some I just think they missed the mark in general with the High Republic stuff, in my opinion. Like, I would have rather them gone further back in time, disconnected altogether, or go forward in time to disconnect it altogether, just because they need to switch it up, man.
Yeah,
They just need to switch it
really,
up.
it does get a little stale after a while.
Yeah, it's like, why do we? Because they were also thinking about. Don't get me wrong, I am excited for like Ewan McGregor doing the Obi-Wan show.
That'll be cool.
Like I'm cool with that. Like, because there's a lot of Obi-Wan was one of those characters who is a great character, and even though he was like very predominant in the prequels and everything, we got like none of him in the original trilogy.
No,
Like he dies pretty early on.
sure.
And like there's a cool period of time with Obi-Wan, and then that's hopefully what they're doing with
The show,
the show. And there's
like when he goes to Tatooine, and
yeah, like what's he doing there? Like it's like if I had it my way, would I prefer like something completely different? Sure, but the fact that you're able to get Ewan McGregor to come back and do it,
it's gonna be,
then that's cool.
yeah.
Like
Well, you know, it's probably gonna be pretty good too.
yeah,
He's coming back, I would say.
I would hope so because that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe I am a little biased to it, but I like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. So like I'm cool with seeing more Obi-Wan, even though I've just preached about how they shouldn't keep returning to all these same damn things and everything. Like I get
a little
that.
contradictory.
I
There.
get that, but you throw the Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan in, I'm cool with that because we got a lot. So the thing is with Boba Fett.
Don't.
No, what made Boba Fett cool is the fact that he was mysterious.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
didn't
mean?
really see him
Yeah,
much.
exactly. But if you're gonna bring him back to, I don't give a shit. And plus, too, in the prequels, unfortunately, once you realize he's just some clone dude who's not even a Mandalorian,
That was kind of a bummer.
really makes him not like his cool factor just keeps going down.
Yeah.
Like, because like I said, there are Mandalorians evident to like the show Mandalorian and in the Clone Wars. There's a lot cooler Mandalorians out there who are actually Mandalorian. So, like, I don't know.
Well, the Mandalorian's not a race; it's a creed. So, in a way, I thought about it. Boba Fett, like, if he
No, it is a race.
well, yeah, but they also say in the Mandalorian that like you don't have. That's what they brought up about Baby Yoda too. Is like it's not necessarily just a race though. It's like a creed you take.
Yeah.
So
I
like
know,
anybody
but
can be Mandalorian if you really think about it. But
that also was something they introduced in the show. That's not how it was prior.
it wasn't like in the Clone Wars and all
In the
that sort of
Clone Wars
stuff.
and everything, there was a planet called Mandalore.
They took their helmets off all the time.
Exactly, and that's why like this is like that's the Mandalorian show. What they're doing, I think, is just different. It's new canon in some ways.
I mean, it's cool.
So
I'm fine with it.
yeah, I'm fine with it. It's all good. Like
Yeah.
I like Mandalorian. There were some episodes that weren't as good as the others, but like it was overall a good show, and I'm looking forward to that coming back. I just hope with this High Republic stuff, they just don't focus too much on shit we already know,
Like
like
Yoda.
just, because yeah, Yoda's back, Yoda's cool, but at the same time, like, does he need to be? I mean, I just want
What else do you have to like
just want,
about him?
yeah, I just want their because there's a lot with Yoda, kind of like what you said too, like with the age thing. We were talking off camera with this. It was like Baby Yoda, if he's like 50 years old, but he's still like an infant right now. Yoda, when he died, was like 900 years old. But like when you do the math there, statistically, that puts him at like age 20 or something.
Yeah,
And it's like, so that doesn't even make a lot of
it
sense. And
doesn't.
so it's like, but him being 900 years old
In Yoda years.
in Yoda years, like there's a lot of stuff that you could like do with Yoda, but I just don't feel like a couple hundred years back from the original trilogy is really like what can you tell at that point?
Yeah.
What is going on? Because like I don't know, was the Empire wasn't really a thing 200 years before that. So what are they all doing?
Yeah.
So I mean,
True.
they say too, like in this thing, that he is like a member of the Jedi Council and everything. So the Jedi Council is established for what this comic book's going to be about, and he's like still training like younglings and everything that's doing his thing. So it's like already though familiar territory with Yoda. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like anything like super new or exciting. Which again, this is kind of what I think is kind of a bummer. Like, cause I don't know. Because I was gonna say initially, like, since he's so old, there's probably a nice period of time where you could have gone further back and maybe told some kind of interesting stories with him.
Yeah.
But it's when you think about Baby Yoda's age, I don't know, the age thing just threw me off.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because if you go back, if Baby Yoda is still an infant at like 50, like in the mind, like at 50 years old, he's still like an infant kind of equivalent.
Yeah.
At like 200 years old, is he just gonna be like a 10-year-old human at that?
That's like is this like mental capacity?
Because if that's the case, then like we said, he literally, if he's 900, then he's only like 20, 30 years old. Why did he disintegrate at 20, 30 years old?
That's what I'm saying. He had a long life.
It don't make any sense.
Yeah.
It don't make any
They
sense.
didn't. I feel like they didn't think that through with the
I know, man. I don't know. But anyway,
make more sense if he was like 25 years old and 50.
yeah, maybe 15. Like, because
he's an infant. He's a baby.
Yeah, he's baby. Don't do nothing.
Yeah, he can walk.
Barely. He kind of just,
God, he's adorable.
He is, man. He's a cute little man, dude. He's a cute little guy. He's shit. But no, there is some cool stuff though too. Like, I'd like to learn more about Yoda's race.
Yeah.
If they would have went further back in like this High Republic thing to actually go like explore more of Yoda and where like his race came
the
from,
name
and
of the
origins.
race.
Yeah, like that would have been
Mysterious.
cool. But like they're just doing the same old shit. He's just a Jedi master within the Jedi Council and just training younglings. Like
Little
this
green
all
guy.
sounds like the prequels, and
Yeah.
which is fine, but I don't know. It's like there's more they could do with it. Disappointing. I'm excited for it, but it's disappointing in some way.
Yeah.
Hesitant would be where I would leave that. So, but guys, what do you think? What do you think about Yoda making his return? Do you think that this High Republic stuff is like just hitting a little bit too close to, home, as we'll call it, being the original trilogy and everything? And do you think they should have gone further back or in the future altogether just to tell some new, exciting, fresh stories? Whatever it is, let us know down in the comment section below. All right, so our final main topic here today, guys, is going to be about the Zack Snyders zombie movie that's coming to Netflix. There's been a little bit of news with it because last week or the week before, I can't remember which one it was, we got word that they were going to be reshooting Chris D'Elia's part because of all the allegations that are going on with him right now. So they're actually just completely reshooting his entire role, replacing him with a completely different person. It's actually going to be an actress portraying a different character in place of him. So still interested in however that's going to turn out. But now we've got news, which this is kind of interesting, Rick. This has nothing to do with that. They actually are planning a prequel and anime series with this Army of the Dead movie, which we granted don't know a whole lot about other than just like the kind of synopsis here where it's, there's a zombie outbreak in Vegas and there's a group of mercenaries who venture into a quarantine zone to pull off a big heist. That's literally the only information we really have about this movie, other than like, the big cast that's in it and everything. And the cast is pretty cool. There's a lot of, Dave Bautista's in there, and then Michael J. White's in there. There's a lot of people in the movie. It's a big cast, but I just find it interesting that because this was the main thing that I was kind of concerned about before with them doing the having going through all the process of like completely removing Crystalia out of the movie. Um, like what kind of impact that would have on the overall quality of the film,
Yeah.
just going forward. Because like the main thing, like I just want the movie to be good by any means, and like I kind of said last week or the week before, whatever it was, when we were talking about this. Zack Snyder made a pretty damn good zombie movie in Dawn of the Dead back in the day, and that had me like excited to see him return back to this this zombie world, the zombie genre, because I did like his Dawn of the Dead remake. I thought it was pretty
It'll
good.
be interesting, yeah.
And what kind of like I just find it interesting that they're already planning a prequel movie in this anime series after it. So it makes me think like they think this is a good movie at that point. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I would feel like they would have to think.
They're already making like an anime prequel.
Yeah, they're making they're
They're
making
working
a
on it.
prequel movie and then an anime series. I don't recall if there's too much information about the anime series as much as I think it's going to follow the same story to the prequel. The prequel is essentially going to follow one of the characters in the movie. The guy is
Ludwig Dieter.
yeah, the actual guy's name is even harder to pronounce.
Matthias Schweighofer?
Yes.
Matthias Schweighofer.
Yeah, so he's going to be directing the movie and everything too.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's the prequel and he's directing the prequel, and that's who the character's gonna be focused on. It's his character from the Army of the Dead movie itself.
Yeah.
So like, but we don't know anything about the character because we haven't seen the movie yet, obviously. So like, we'll see. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's interesting because it must be everyone on Netflix and everybody must have seen this movie to some capacity enough to think it's good enough for them
Yeah.
to want to continue the world on.
That's pretty interesting.
So like
I mean,
that gives me some hope that they struck something good here. Because I said it before, man. The zombie genre is something that's like, been completely played out, and like especially with The Walking Dead going on for as long as
gosh,
it
yeah.
did, and that was like in the focal, like no other.
that went on for way too long.
It did. It really did, and it was never super. It honestly wasn't very.
I remember
Started
watching
off
the first
real
couple
good.
seasons with you, and yeah, like after a while, it's just like
Yeah, it just kept dragging on, and I don't know, man. Like I don't know, I lost interest in it very quick, and then like, but the only things that came out really during that time, zombie wise, and I probably missed some stuff here, but it really was just like Walking Dead and World War Z, because it like were the only things that really happened with zombie stuff in the last like couple of years. Then Train to Busan, which we just talked about, which
Yeah.
I finally watched, and like it was super good, but it was like a nice, fresh kind of like look on. I don't
that
know.
was good.
It was really good. Like Train to Busan is really good. So like I'm looking forward to like that sequel coming out for called Peninsula. That looks. I mean, if it's as good as Train to Busan in any way, then like I'm excited to watch that. And but yeah, that more so than anything, I've just been wanting to see some like some good zombie stuff because, like I said, like the genre itself has just kind of been like played out.
Oh,
too.
for
It's
sure.
just like you've seen so much of it, and like one of the things like I just like kind of bored me with The Walking Dead, for instance, was just like all the zombies were just kind of mundane and just like it wasn't even like never felt like a real threat. And the whole I know the whole like
They were just kind of there.
yeah, it was just like they were like ambience, you know what I mean? And
Yeah, that wasn't even like the biggest part of the show, like problem wise or anything
right,
like that. Yeah,
which I totally get because like with The Walking Dead, the main story like kind of portrays it to where it's supposed to be like the real threat is the humans that remain.
yeah,
Like that's kind of the zombies are just kind of there in the background, and like so I totally get that. Like
something to
get it.
do. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
but I like the kind of like the return of zombies. That's why like I thought World War Z was actually kind of cool because like those zombies were like spooky,
yeah,
like and then that's kind of
they
the
were
cool thing.
wild.
They were wild. They were super fast. They were super strong, kind of thing. And like that's cool. That's actually like scary, you know. And that's kind of how like Train to Busan was with a lot of it because these like were fresh zombies, so like
Yeah.
they could move quicker. That they weren't like rotting corpses and stuff, which
That's
is
what I never understood about The Walking Dead.
right. Well, and that's kind of thing with like all zombies. Is like how are you
How do
all
you have
walking?
like the equilibrium to stand up and have balance? How do your muscle tendons and things like that support the weight? It's just there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, the physiology of a zombie is like confusing as to
doesn't
how
make
it would
sense.
function exactly.
Unless there's like magic involved.
Right, which when The Walking Dead, is not the case, and it's just
Yeah.
a bunch of, like, rotting corpses, like, whatever. And like I said, they're very, like, unimposing. Like, they just
They're slow moving, they're dumb, they're
Yeah.
just yeah.
And that's what so I'm hoping that, this is a little bit different, and it's, like, an actual threat, because that's, like I don't know, it's more exciting. There's more stakes when it's, like, these things ain't fucking around. Kinda
No.
like how, like, World War Z, but then, like, I Am Legend, how those zombies
Those are pretty sketchy.
zombies, like, they weren't
Whatever
just
they
like
were.
zombies, they were almost more like vampires and stuff. They were, like, weird.
Yeah.
Like their own thing, but, like, they were, like, super strong and, like, that's more spooky to me than, like, some rotting corpse over there I can just go hit with a baseball
I
bat
remember
and,
that
like, call it
scene
a
where they
day.
first show them all, like, hunching over in that dark room, and they're all, like, moving in unison, just like like, that
Mhm.
was sketchy
It's
in I
weird,
Am
dude.
Legend,
Yeah.
like
It's weird. And then the scene with the dog, man, not good, man.
Mhm.
And then, we got our
No.
first tease of Batman vs Superman in that movie.
Yeah,
So
I remember that.
I remember when that happened, I was just like, "Dude!"
Batman vs.
And nothing happened. Like,
When did that
nothing
come out?
I Am Legend?
Yeah.
2000s at some point.
Yeah, it
I
was, like,
forget when. Let me look it up. Hold on.
because that would had not did that tease have anything to do with the actual movie?
No.
I was
Came
gonna
out
say, they just, like
2007.
yeah, so that was I was still in high school.
No, because even in that logo, it was the old, like, rounded Batman, like, same logo they would use in, like, Batman Forever and everything,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
same kinda logo. Uh, but yeah. Nothing to do with anything that came after it, but, it was just, like, fun it was cool to see, in my
It
opinion.
was a cool, like, yeah, little
A little like, "Ah."
callback to it.
But eventually, we did get a Batman vs Superman movie of some kind, so,
True,
like,
true.
they called it. They called it first, man. Honestly, too, like, with I Am Legend, 2007 doesn't seem like I mean, I guess at this point, it was, like, 13 years ago, but it didn't feel like I don't know, it felt like when you think of when Batman vs Superman came out in, like, 2012, it was only, like, 5 years after.
Yeah.
Like, and then in, like, the movie world, that's really, like, it's A, like, kind of a long time, but, like, B, really not that long of a time considering, like, a lot of sequels are, like, 2 years after the fact.
Yeah.
So, like, in some ways, it, like I don't know, it doesn't seem like it was really that long ago, but then when you think, like, "Well, I guess that was 13 years ago," then it does seem like a pretty long time, so I don't
True,
know.
true.
But, anyways, main point is, with the, Army of the Dead stuff I'm just excited at the fact that, I don't feel like they wouldn't be going through with this prequel stuff and this anime stuff if they didn't feel like what they had was good,
Yeah, there was
you
no
know?
confidence in
Yeah, so
the
what it
property.
shows to me is that they do, in fact, have confidence in this movie. They like what they saw. They liked what Zack did. And like I said last time we were talking about this, Zack Snyder deserves a goddamn win. So, especially with hopefully this and then his Snyder cut of Justice League are just like, changes the narrative of all the bullshit that he's had to deal with people. So,
Yeah.
because like I like Zack Snyder. I like all his movies.
No, for sure.
I didn't really care for Sucker Punch, but
Sucker Punch was weird.
looked cool.
Yeah, it did look cool.
It looked good. So, I don't know. So, anyways, guys, what do you think about Army of the Dead getting a prequel series and an anime series? You kind of agree with us that, like, yeah, that if anything, just shows that they have confidence in the Army of the Dead movie. Whatever it is, just let us know down in the comment section below. Well, that'll do it for us today, guys. Again, I am Rob Bifo. Rick Metz, where can everybody find you online?
Sir Rick Metz on Instagram. Follow me.
At Sir Rick Metz. There it
Sir Rick
is.
Metz.
You can follow me at Sir Rob Bifo. Again, guys, don't forget you can submit topics and questions by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Also, we want to believe on Wednesday we're gonna we at least have one good probably one good UFO video we're gonna be looking at. So we want to get your guys' thoughts on that. If you have anything at all, though, again, anything at all, you got a video that you want us to react to, comment on, you want our take on it, just email us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Rick, you got anything else? You got anything else you want to add?
I think that about covers it.
All right. Well, again, I'm Rob Bifo. He was Rick Metz. Until next time, Wednesday, we got We Want to Believe. So stay tuned. Take care.